there is a little thing that I want to add here. You maybe have heard about persistence. That is a system that saves data when you come back into a world. And there are two kinds of persistence saves. It's kind of the world and the user data in general. So every single world has that uses persistence has an own little file that can store up to, I don't know, I guess it is like about in the hundreds of kilobytes of data, what is kind of much because it's just numbers and letters. And you can also in every single map delete your user data to reset the stuff. But there is also in your profile somewhere a button to delete all user data. It is saved on the server of VRChat. So that means that it is safe from other people and you can't fake it or cheat about it because it is not on someone's computer. It is synced on the servers of VRChat. But as a world creator, you can use this player data to, let's see, for example, we have here a board that will show how many coins you have collected. And to do that, it is definitely funnier if the coins are saved between the sessions. Yeah? And I will show you how I did that, and definitely a big thing that you should keep in mind to not make as an error, as a mistake. So at first, these things here are having, of course, a mesh, and they are not static because they are turning around, they are animated. So you have a box collider around them that is a trigger box. So if you touch it with the capsule around you, then you will go into this trigger box, and it is an animator to turn around, and then this udon behavior what also has the code on it with the persistence. Yes, you can do it in these udon behaviors. So you don't need to set up some code. I'm hiding from code as much as I can, definitely. And you have the material, of course. Of course, you also have the VRChat SDK, because you couldn't upload your world without it. And there is an ExampleCentral. And if you click on there, then you have to log in first, of course. Oh, I love that, that you always have to log in kind of every day. You always get logged out again. I whine. So now we are in here. And then we see examples that we can download and use in our world. So that is heckin' convenient. For example, a minimap. I would say it is done with the camera. I would say it is a camera from from above, that then goes on a render texture. And that, for example, yeah, it is a whole scene, I would say, and that the ceiling is of a material that is ignored by that camera, so that you can just look through. And I think that on players, you could add a little object above the players or so. And in the camera, the player is invisible, but the object is visible. And in the world, with your own camera, the object would be invisible. So for the map, you see just the dots, and yeah, it could be done like that. So they are working with those layers here to put stuff on different layers, and the camera just affect different layers that are projecting on that plane. I don't want to go deeper, much deeper into detail, but this is kind of how it could be done. But you see here, you can download, import these examples and just put them right in your scene and use them. Simple AI navigation, position syncing. This, for example, uses persistence. You see it with tags persistence. So if we just search for persistence, then we have interesting. that the position sync is not in here. Just persistent pen. Is it not by tags? Very weird. Okay, position sync kind of saves where you last were when you log out. I don't like that on my map here because you're not supposed to just start where you were, because you should be able to start the map over again, but keep your points. Also, you should not just be somewhere in the level, but on checkpoints. So it doesn't make sense for me here, but on chill out worlds it can make sense. Persistent pen would kind of save stuff that you draw in the world. Persistence idle game, you just click, the numbers goes up and stay like that. So you can totally do that. It can also be done with the jump counter or something like that. And the post-processing here can also, a slider, it's just a slider that drives post-processing, and the slider will be saved. So leaderboard. Haha, see, this is the pattern that I downloaded here, but I didn't use, in this case, jumps. I guess it was like jumping or so, but I made my own variable for the coins that I just called coin. Health bar, for example, using also persistence, and persist players' health amounts. Yeah, interesting things. Even RPG with persistence, saving classes and stuff like that. So you have interesting things to dig in, to import, and then open a scene and see what you maybe can use. So sometimes it is interesting, you know. So another thing that I want you to know, even when you shrink tiny, you are a capsule, you know? You have a capsule collider around yourself. I can show it with a capsule collider. It is this. It looks like a ball, but if we change the height, then you will quickly see that it gets like a capsule. And this just like, 90-degree tilted upwards is kind of around your character. You are a capsule that walks around and can collide with stuff. The bad thing about it, because VRChat thinks it is more fair that way, is that the collider is always about, I don't know, like 1.60 m, 70 or so, the capsule, even if you're tiny or taller. So the capsule of giants is still somewhere around the root of the avatar on ground. And if you're very tiny, your capsule is still big to be more fair in games, for example, on the murder map, so that people don't have to bow down to you. But if you're very tiny, the people can still slash above you, and your capsule is still human, average human height. I think that is shitty, because it takes some freedom from world developers to create some things, but you can always work around things that you think are done in a not so nice way. Also, you see that I made everything very pixelish here now, yeah? If you also want to do a map that is very pixelish, the only thing you have to do is just to click on the texture, and instead of bilinear or trilinear, say point, no filter. So then you don't get the interpolation and smoothen out tiny pixel textures. But going back here, I open the graph, and the important thing is the score up. So, and there is a thing, I want to show you what I did to use persistence in my world to save the points for the players, so they come back. They still have their old points, and they're like, yay, I can continue, Maybe I just make updates, I add new rooms, and people are like, yeah, I still carry over my coin score, so it makes sense. So, I clicked on the wrong thingy. Project layers are not set up. Yeah, this is this thing, if you see such things, just say autofix. This is no problem. So how does it work? On player trigger enter, of course. So if you jump into this coin, then the coin should be gone for everyone, but just you get the coin. Just you get the point, not everyone. And there we have already a thing that I at first forgot. I thought about with many other stuff, but at very first, every on-player trigger enter is always for everyone. So if someone goes into this trigger zone and triggers the event, it is for everyone. If you're on interact, so you have to click it, then it's just for you. But on a trigger zone, it's for everyone. Don't ask me why VRChat does that. To think about some things are global for everyone and some just for you. It's just shitty and you have always to work around and think about it. But it is as it is, and you just say branch, so an if then else, and you see the colliding person. You see the VRChat player, API player, the player that collides. Is this the local player here? And just if yes, then the stuff happens. Then, and just then. Then you are the owner of this coin now. Then you set the activity, the activeness, the whatever, to false. So the coin should be deactivated. And then this is the whole magic. You get player data, get int. So you get a number out of the player that collides with the name coin. Now you ask yourself, but what if there is no coin? If there is no coin, in this moment, you create in the data of the world for this player the int coin and set it to default 0. So it is automatically created if it's not there. And if it is there, then the whole stuff is working. And what do I do here? Player data set int. So I set it with the name coin. And to what do I set it? I take it, what it was, and add the score up. And it is in this is 1 coin. Score up is 1 point. So 1 point added and set to the new value. Then you play for yourself. You play the biding, the coin sound. Yeah. So you hear the pling, but others don't. So others are not confused. Like, huh, I didn't run into anything. And then you request the serialization for everyone. And after you did the thing for everyone, you say coin back after a timer of seconds. Send custom event. So coin back. Okay. After the 60 seconds, for you, what happens is you set the coin activity back to yes and request the serialization again. And after you set the timer, you go into the event coin visibility. And on deserialization, so everyone else also goes into this event. And this event then is the coin visibility, looks, is the coin now active, yes or no? And then you activate or deactivate the components mesh renderer and box collider type. So you don't see the coin anymore, you can't interact with the coin anymore. But you also know that after these 60 seconds, I put it in here, after these 60 seconds, you send this here. So just the person that owned the coin because ran into it says the coin is back again. And then you request the serialization for everyone, and for everyone you deactivate, you reactivate it again, and everyone can run into it and own the coin and get the coin. So it always respawn with a bit of tail, yeah? So, and the main thing I used the player data here in the easiest way is I set int coin, I get int coin, and this is then saved. And I could also do a player data set or get bool. I can also use a bool value, an on or off. Imagine I save it here with the performance mode is now off. But if you use it to be on, I could make a persistence logic on this button so it remembers. Next time when you're on this map, and you clicked on the performance on, then you instantly snap back and it is back to performance mode because it was your last choice. You see, the power of persistence is to be convenient for players. And in this gamey case here, you create a little game that makes it more interesting to come back to the map here. I bet everyone knows this idle cubes world, and it is working like the same. It uses all these numbers that are going up and up and up and up, and you shoot stuff. And it saves those, so you can come back later, and stuff happened since then. Yeah. And you still get your old numbers back when you continue playing. And that is the power, you know. But definitely the one big thing you definitely have to think about whenever you do trigger zone with persistence data, ask, is it the local player, and then just do it. Because if you don't do that, and I didn't do at first, that means that every player collecting a coin in that world, in that moment, will kind of use their score and puts that over everyone else. And then everyone has the same amount of coins. And that is, ooh, ouchie. So learn from my mistakes, you know. It is intelligent to learn from your mistakes, but it is wise to learn from the mistakes of others. So have fun. You have more power now.